it is my opportunity now to introduce a woman who I have come to know recently and who I admire for her hard work, her energy, her stick-to-itiveness. She just is, you know, a great lady. She's a great example for all of us Democratic women and the Republican women out there. And I'd like to introduce Janice Kovach, Mayor of Clinton, who will be the next Congresswoman from New Jersey.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I don't know, I have to kind of top Tony's bluebird here, so I'll have to work on this one. Thank you all for being here. I know Friday nights are hard. I know everyone's got so much going on in their lives, but this means so much to me. Regina, thank you so much for opening up your home. To be able to come and really talk to everyone about what's important to me. So I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. I am currently the mayor for the town of Clinton. I've been serving for almost 3 years now. I have 3 children. I have a daughter who's 24, graduated college in 2012. I have 2 boys who are in middle school, hitting the teenage years. And I've been in the corporate world, and when I left corporate, I wanted to do something. I've always loved politics. For me, it's always interesting to see how policy drives, how change can drive policy. And when just after I'd had my 3rd son, I was figuring out what I wanted to be when I grew up, because, you know, we all got to have the careers that we're working on. And there was no one running against the incumbents in the town of Clinton. It was 3 men running. 2 of them had been there for a really long time. So we said, all right, we put up 3 women. And, you know, one of the first things someone said to me when knocking on the door, because we all went out, and of course I did have a stroller with me because the youngest was still in the stroller at the time. And the first door we knocked on said, you know, you can't beat. They've been there for 30 years. I said, watch me. That was the first door. So now that's that red flag that's been waving in my face, telling me I can't do something. And if anyone knows anything about me, it's don't tell me I can't, because it makes me want to do it that much more. The next door we knock on, a gentleman goes, oh, wait 1 second. He turns and he yells to his wife, hey, hon, the moms are here. You might want to come and talk to them. I said, you don't want to talk to us? And of course the 2 women I'm running with were like horrified, because I'm just going to tell it like it is. He's like, well, you know, you got a stroller, you're a mom, it's great that you're running. I said, do you know what I've done? Well, you got kids, you're a mom. I said, yeah, but I also ran $1 million businesses for Prudential. I said, I've done consulting work for Fortune 500 companies. Really? It's interesting. So we started having conversations. I got in the habit of carrying my resume around, because unfortunately what people saw when they saw me was they saw mom, just kind of playing around in politics. So come election day, it was really, really nice. 2 of us won our seats. And for me, that was truly the first taste where I got to see the opportunity, how by knocking on doors and engaging people in the political process, you could see change. I won by, I think it was 50 votes. Now Clinton's really small. We're talking 1,600 registered voters in the town. So that was an accomplishment. Fast forward, I went to Trenton for when Governor Corzine won the gubernatorial race, and I ran the New Jersey Division on Women. I did that for 4 years. We funded the displaced homemaker, the sexual assault, domestic violence programs. We worked with all of the underserved, underprivileged women in the state of New Jersey. We provided opportunities for them. And that was where I realized that women needed to have a voice. Women needed to be a part of the decision making, because I saw these women struggling every single day. And there are times when I've thought my life's been hard, and then I hear their stories and it's heartbreaking. But to see them actually overcome was phenomenal. And they became the people that I looked to, because when I thought it was tough, I thought about their stories. 2010, my services were no longer required under the new administration. So I decided, I came back and I was looking about what I wanted to do. And unfortunately, a lot of the good stuff we had done in the town of Clinton had gone by the wayside. And we were struggling financially, and they kept keeping the taxes flat. Well, That's great that you can keep taxes flat, but that means something gets cut in the process, or you move money around, you move things around. So we own our own water and sewer company in the town of Clinton. I did an Oprah request, and come to find out we were in really bad financial shape. So I said, all right, this is what my next job is going to be. I'm going to run for mayor. And at that time, right around 2010, was when the first time women had not gained seats in Congress during those midterm elections. Women, for 30 years, women had small gains, and in 2010 there were no gains. Then, you fast forward, and I'm listening to what's going on, and you know how Mitt Romney had that binder of women, that 1-inch binder? I'm now on my 4th 3-inch binder, because I'm like, all right, now I need to get out there what the issues are. And I started tweeting articles that talked about women in politics, women in government, women in business, women in film, women in TV, whatever it may be. I have Google Alerts set up so that I could see these articles that were coming out, and I could send out that information to my network, which has grown exponentially. I've been a public speaker for a long time. I've been talking to groups about issues that are important to families and to women. So when I decided to run for office, I got that whole, well, they've been there, and I don't know, that might be pushing it a bit much. So I had bracelets made, and guys, I apologize, but I had them made in hot pink because I didn't want the guys to want them. And it says, I want a seat at the table, because I know if I'm not on the table, I'm on the menu. And that, to me, is really what drives me. Issues that are so important to me and to my family are on the menu every single day. I have watched our electeds down in Congress get up there and raise their fists and pound the gavel and pound on their tables, talking about something that's not fixing what's going on back home. To me, I worry about my residents. I worry about the families that I work with every single day. And Washington's worried about choice. Washington's worried about finding an issue that's polarizing. Because if you listen, they get people out who are angry. I'm angry, so I'm going to vote. I don't have to fix anything if people are just angry and they vote. So I go back to Washington 2 more years, and all is well. But in the meantime, jobs in the economy, the unemployment, infrastructure, so many things need to be done here. I dare anyone to come into the town of Clinton and find a pothole. I don't have potholes in the town of Clinton, because what we've done is we've invested in our infrastructure. It comes down to health and public safety. I think about everything that we do proactively saves money long term, because I don't have to worry about doing repairs in the middle of the night if we've already got the infrastructure in place. You talk about the Pulaski Skyway. Any of you have driven the Pulaski Skyway recently? I did probably 6 months ago. That's a scary place. 5 years ago, it had either a C+ or a D+ rating. For 5 years, we have put every single one of those individuals that drive that bridge at risk. And we've allowed it to continue, and we have not held anyone accountable to doing those repairs. This is something that it should be common sense. Let's bring the money back here. Let's make sure that the money is here for the infrastructure so that the health and public safety of our residents is not put in jeopardy. It's the same with, when you're looking at what's going on in New Jersey, the Transportation Trust. Do what needs to be done to make sure that you're investing in our communities. I talk to people every single day. Clinton, if anyone's been to Clinton, it's a vibrant small community. We have a bustling Main Street, a lot of independently owned stores. They are the lifeblood. They are the gathering place for our community members and for residents outside of our town. I know if I lose Main Street now, I just become another exit off 78. Somerville is coming back in the revitalization of Somerville. Phillipsburg has been struggling. Flemington is struggling. So many small towns are struggling. And no one is asking, how do we help? How do we keep those communities alive and vibrant? And I had someone say to me, well, you want to raise the minimum wage, you're going to put all those small businesses out. I said, that's really kind of interesting that you would say that, because a lot of my small businesses downtown pay a livable wage. to their full-time employees. But yet, I have Walmart about a half a mile up the street, and they pay the minimum wage. So what is that telling you? No one's really thinking about our backyards. No one's thinking about what's important to our communities. As I mentioned, my daughter graduated college in 2012. Took her 9 months to find a job. She's still living at home, yes. She's working. Hopefully there is a chance that she will move from my home at some point in time. But she can't, because 6 months after graduating, student loans kicked in. And she was working a couple of part-time jobs to be able to pay her student loans, make her car payment, pay her insurance. She's working full-time, but paying those bills doesn't give her any disposable income. So her and her dog are living with us. I did tell her that when my youngest goes to college, she has to be out of the house, because I'm moving. You know, and I know that she struggled to find a job. I know that we're graduating students every single semester who are struggling to find work and are coming out with outrageous student loans. So college education has to be affordable. You know, it's not free. I'm not looking for a free ride, because I think there needs to be some sort of an accountability. You know, if you've got a financial stake in your education, you take it a little bit more seriously. But we need to make it so it's affordable for them to go. We need to make student loans affordable. Why she's paying an outrageous interest rate because she's got no credit and they can charge it to her. You know, we help as much as we can, but I know that there's a lot of others that don't get any help. And how many kids don't go to school because they cannot afford the student loan debt that they're going to come out with and the fear that they're not going to have a job? I want to know that my kids have an opportunity for a great education. We live in the town of Clinton. I grew up in the town of Clinton. My kids are graduating the same elementary school that I graduated from. I'm never getting out of the building, it seems like, but I'm hoping a couple more years and I will be done in that school. But my daughter also graduated from my high school. You know, and these are the things that are so important to me. I will tell you, I've known Leonard Lance for about 10 years now. He's a really nice man. You know, from that perspective, I run into him and his wife at ShopRite regularly. It is heartbreaking for me because when he was in Trenton, he supported issues that were important to me. He supported a woman's right to choose. He supported the environment. He voted for some of the same gun laws that New Jersey currently has. But yet, in February, he signed a petition to the U.S. Supreme Court to overturn New Jersey's gun laws as unconstitutional. That, to me, I don't know what to say. You know, I don't know, how do I explain to my children when they ask me, well, why does he switch his views? And it's because he's threatened by the far right. He almost lost his primary. He had the closest primary in the state of New Jersey this year. He almost lost it to someone who's run against him several times. And he's allowed his values, and this is what I personally believe, he has allowed his values to be hijacked in order to keep his seat. Now, I will tell you, I am a lifelong Democrat. I have an all-Republican council in the town of Clinton. I have, and what I will tell you is I probably have the best council in Hunterdon County because they have worked with me to get the things done for the town of Clinton. And initially they fought. You know, I'm not going to say that it was smooth sailing the minute I got in. You know, I beat one of them. But when it comes right down to it, we were able to sit down and talk about what needs to be done. And that's what doesn't happen in Congress anymore. There's no more conversations. I talk at someone and then I walk away. You know, we need to really think about how do we change the paradigm. And the Republicans have been really good at getting people angry and getting people riled. But what I found is when they start to get angry and point the finger at me, I've already said, the next person that points their finger at me, I'm breaking the finger. I'm done with the finger point. But when they do that, I don't engage. I just continue to have a normal conversation. And I've kind of diffused it so that they can't come back at me. It doesn't give them an opportunity. There's no fight there any longer. And that's what they don't know how to work with. You know, we talk about having more women at the table, and I talk about issues that are important to me and not being addressed. Afghanistan has 20% of their parliament is women. In the United States, our Congress has 18.1% women. In New Jersey, you have 565 municipalities, and less than 100 are run by women. In Hunterdon County, there are 26 municipalities. 2 are run by women who are directly elected. And the one woman who is the mayor of Flemington will probably lose her seat this year too, because her party's trying to push her out. She's a Republican. So I may be the only elected mayor, female mayor, in Hunterdon County. And that kind of transitions into the whole female mayor thing. I love when someone says, "Oh, you're the female mayor." So can I call you the male mayor? I have mayor plates on my car. I'll tell you a quick story. So my kids got me when I first became mayor plates. It has number 1 and mayor underneath it. I happened to be in New York City. One day I was meeting for a business meeting. I park and I hate those parking decks in New York City. They're scary already. I parked I get out of the car, and the young man is looking at me and looking at the car and looking at me, and I'm like, okay. He's like, "Where's your husband, the mayor of?" I said, "He's not, I am." "Really? You don't look like a mayor."
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, and it took everything in me to kind of just not say anything. Yeah, because this is what we expect, and we've allowed it to continue. We perpetuate it. I am a mayor, and I am a damn good mayor. I love when some of the other mayors come up, the guys will come up and they try to intimidate me. Listen, it takes a lot to intimidate me. I don't really care what people think about me or if they like me. That's not why I do what I do. So they'll kind of come at me. And I had a conversation with the mayor today, and we were kind of going back and forth. And I said, "I'm going to tell you right now, you're not getting your way in this. That's all there is to it. You can push, you can prod, you can do whatever you want. You don't get your way in this decision." And as soon as I went back at him, he backed off. So, going to Washington, you need leaders going to Washington. Mayors are leaders. And what I have been able to accomplish, and I get harassed because I talk about the town of Clinton so much, but that's an example. I get Washington is a much larger fishbowl to deal with. But I have to believe there are more people like me that want to be able to do the right thing for their communities, and maybe they're just not as loud as I am. I try not to be loud, but it just kind of becomes part of who I am, because that's the only way things get done. I have other mayors and other electeds in Hunterdon County call me and ask me to help them with Trenton. I said, "That's your governor, though, right? Yeah. That's your governor, and I'm helping." Yeah, because you know how to get it done. And that is the ultimate what has to be done in Washington. Work has to get done. We cannot afford another 2 years of roadblocks, because if we have roadblocks, nothing is going to be accomplished for our communities. I don't know if everyone got the mailer, because Leonard's not worried about me running against him because he thought his real race was the primary. He did a mailer back in a franked piece of mail talking about voting 42 times to repeal Obamacare. I said, well, let's call it what it is. It's the Affordable Care Act. And if you really want to go back to the history, that would be Romney Care, I think. But 42 times, I think now we're up to 66, someone told me. Each of those votes cost about $1 million. So for someone who is a fiscal conservative, $66 million is a lot of money. That could be going to someplace else. Medicare, when it rolled out, was not perfect. There are, I believe, 18 amendments to Medicare. Do the amendments that need to happen to the Affordable Care Act. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Do I believe that more can be done to make it better? Yes. So let's, if you didn't get it in the first 10 votes, or even the first 20 votes, you didn't get that repealed, let's give up and take a new tact. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing and over and expecting a different result. All right, 66 times, same result. I think that's our answer right there. And that's what the message we have to send. You know, they're not worried about me. Oh, the woman thing. I love when they do the woman thing. I'm not quite sure what the woman thing is, but that's why I run, for the woman thing. No, I run because I know I can make a difference. I know that I can challenge the status quo, and I know that I take the Democrats to task as much as I take the Republicans to task. Ask Trenton. They get phone calls from me all the time. Senator Sweeney is not always thrilled when I call his office, because ultimately when you make broad brush decisions that have a negative impact on my community, I'm going to let you know about it. I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever you may be. If it's not right, then I'm going to tell you it's not right. And that's what I can do in Washington. I get that, oh, well, you know, you're going to be one of, however, 435, and then they're going to pull you in, and they're going to tell you have to do anything. Let them try. Like I said, I am really not a good follower. My husband will tell you, we took dancing lessons for our wedding. 3 months worth of ballroom dancing lessons, and he quit in the middle of the dance because I couldn't follow. I'm still trying to learn to follow, and he just kind of gives up on me. So, you know, and I joke about it, and believe me, I love my husband. He is a Republican, but I still love him. Yes. Because here's what I will tell you about, and this is why I bring it up, because he's like my counsel. He looks at the individuals who are running, and he votes for the right person for the job, puts party aside. And that's what has to happen. We have to put party aside and vote for the people who are going to do the right things. And I'll close with this. You know, this is, everyone keeps telling me you need a you need a sound bite. Well, as you can tell, I like to talk, so sound bites are kind of hard for me. So I've got the I want to see at the table, or I'm on the menu. But then here's my other one. Leonard, when you can get pregnant, you can tell me what I can do with my body. Thank you.